So in conclusion, I just wanted to have a little recap just to reinforce the benefits of the workflow that I've been demonstrating in these videos. Because when you're working on sequences, the biggest challenge you're going to face is shot-to-shot consistency. And the main reason for that is that when you're working on an individual shot, there's a very natural urge to do everything you can to try and make that shot look as good as it possibly can. But in doing so, it's very easy to do things that mean that the shot then doesn't sit so well in the sequence. You have the temptation to add additional lights to maybe highlight a certain aspect of the shot or just to make the character look a little bit better. And it's very easy to add lights that just don't make sense in the context of the rest of the sequence. And if you're working as part of a team, then that problem becomes multiplied by however many people are in your team, because each individual artist is going to want to do their own work on their own shots, and you soon find that the sequence just doesn't hang together at all. And that's the great thing about this referencing workflow, because as long as you do the work on the key shot and then you publish the lighting from that key shot for everyone else to import as a reference into their shots, and then they can just do the bare minimum from there on just to make each individual shot work, you'll find that the consistency comes naturally without any effort. You can see that here, if I switch between the key shot and the following shot, the consistency is there because I've only made one small lighting change between the two shots. So you can see that the two shots look as if they belong together. They look as if they're part of the same sequence. And that's great because it means there's a lot less work for the compositors to do because they're getting consistent output out of lighting. And another benefit of this workflow is that it's just much more efficient and a lot less work because most of the work goes into the key shot, and after that all the other shots can be dealt with really quickly. As you saw in this video, once the key shot was lit, the next shot was much quicker to light. There was no fussing with the settings, there was basically one lighting change to do, everything else is already in place, so the whole team can work really quickly once the key shot has been lit. And this same approach can then also be used in compositing. So when I took this sequence into compositing, I did all of my grading on this key shot and then simply reused the exact same grades on the following shot. I made a few minor adjustments obviously to accommodate this particular shot and added a little bit of vignetting just so that the two shots looked similar. But basically, once you've done the grading on one shot, you want to be able to reuse all of that work on the following shots. So once again, it just means that you get that consistency between your shots and your sequence hangs together. And you can see this has worked really well here. So it just minimizes the amount of work and the amount of revisions and the amount of tweaking and balancing that you have to do to try and concentrate on this principle of using a key shot and then basing all of the rest of the sequence on all of the work that you've done on the key shot. But this consistency really needs to start in lighting. Of course, a really good compositor might well be able to rebalance inconsistent outputs from lighting, but if everything that's coming out of lighting is really consistent, it just means that the compositing is then so much easier because then it's just a case of doing the creative grades without having to try and fix for inconsistent shots coming out of lighting. So you can see that with the output I had here, with these two shots that just hang together really well from lighting, that all the work that I did in grading was just pure grades. There was nothing extra that I had to do to try and rebalance the shots so that they looked as if they belonged together. But once again, the main benefit is that using this disciplined approach means that there's far less work for everyone to do. There's far less work to do in lighting because you work on the key shot and then all the other shots that follow could then be processed really quickly. And then there's far less work in compositing because the compositors are dealing with really consistent outputs. So once again, they can concentrate on the key shot and simply reuse that work for the rest of the sequence. So the benefits are essentially that you get the consistency and also you do less work and spend less time fixing things unnecessarily.